Israeli airstrikes against the Barrage refugee camp in central Gaza just happened. This is breaking news, guys.
Yeah, breaking news from the Middle East, guys, where Israeli military operations have intensified in the Gaza Strip. At least 15 people have been killed and dozens more injured following Israeli air and ground attacks on the B Magaza refugee camps in central Gaza. We're cutting over to some footage of it here, or at least a picture of the camp that was airstruck.
Gosh, devastating.
It is. Now, the Martyrs Hospital in Dera Balha, the only operational medical facility in the area, is overwhelmed with casualties right now. A spokesperson for the Ministry of Health described the hospital as overflowing with patients, many receiving treatment on the floor due to the sheer number of injuries. It's terrible stuff. And that just begs the question. I mean, is there any footage of these attacks? Let's see if we can pull any up on online here. Now, in the neighboring Benghazi refugee camp, an attack on a residential building resulted in 2 fatalities, further escalating the humanitarian crisis in the region. It almost seems like they just won't stop. I mean, they're bombing everything.
We're about to show you guys something somewhat graphic, but you can see they're carrying out what looks like a body in a bag in Gaza, at the Gaza Strip. It is terrible.
And what does that say? Three members of the Dweck family were murdered in the latest Jewish-American airstrike on the El Baraj refugee camp in central Gaza. Let's see if we can pull up on the map here where exactly that is. Now, internationally, there's a growing concern over the escalating violence. Diplomatic efforts are underway to negotiate a ceasefire and address the humanitarian needs of the Gaza civilian population. However, challenges continue to persist. Now, we're also pulling up here the exact location, and it's the El Aqsa Martyrs Hospital. You want me to send you?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
But this is the general location, what we're dealing with here. This is, you can see Barrage. See, this is the strip right here. Not much that they have here.
I just sent you the hospital. See if it lets you pull an exact pinpoint for that.
Let's see what we can do. Let's see.
Now, while he's trying to find that, who were the specific targets within the Baraj refugee camp? And is there evidence to support these claims that there were terrorist groups, Hamas, in that area? Because it almost seems like they're just attacking anything left and right here at this point. It's becoming a big humanitarian issue.
So you can see right here, this is what we're dealing with. This looks very similar to the images that we found. Just gets blown up. Yeah, it was a little bit difficult because it's all in Arabic, so you can't actually just search the name in English. But it's looking
it
like
looks like we got some breaking footage here of the actual airstrike. Let me send this over to you here so we can pull it up.
Okay.
Wow, this is crazy stuff. Israeli strikes rain devastating blows on central Gaza Nazareth refugee camp.
You pulling that up right now? All right. I don't know how long these strikes have been going on, but it seems like at least a week, probably weeks at this point right now. And we have no results of a ceasefire. There's nothing that's looking like peace. Donald Trump ran on that he was going to be able to stop all of these wars in, I think it was, 48 hours, Kyle?
Yeah.
And we are
yet to see
failing to see this happen. The U.S.'s involvement in this right now is very minimal in terms of seeking peace.
Yeah, it looks like we have a lot of footage here from this event. A lot of bodies being carried to the ambulances, rushing everyone to the hospital.
We're going to play this clip right now. Oh, man. Once again, guys, we can't show gore here on YouTube, so there's nothing bloody happening here that we can see, but the girl looks clearly unconscious. Looks like she's being rushed for medicine, for medical attention immediately.
And we just got another footage of the actual airstrike. I just sent it to you here again.
Is this a different angle?
Yeah.
Okay. Different angle. Oh, shit. That is so loud.
And as we know right now, at least 15 killed in the latest attack. Now, that doesn't account for the many attacks that have happened over the last week. This is just the attack on the hospital camp. It looks like 15 have been confirmed dead.
How did they even get the footage for this? It's like, how did they know to record that?
Yeah.
At the exact right time. So Gaza is the testing ground for proxy warfare 2.0. Proxy warfare is how people, governments specifically, are using idea-driven groups instead of nations, and it allows it to where there's no national policy. NATO has no control over it, and it's basically a big FU to NATO, essentially. Because what this is just NATO, but reverse engineered. It's like a shadow agency of NATO. So if Israeli airstrikes on the Barouj refugee camp aren't just about Hamas targets, what if Gaza, like Mexico, is a sandbox for the next generation population control strategies? I mean, you can see, one, that there's controlled chaos as strategic infrastructure. We can trace this back to also the cartels in Mexico. They keep people broken and obedient. They keep their people scared with PTSD, trauma, generational trauma, that we are also going to see with many Palestinians, that they are just always scared and they think this way of life is just life, that, hey, our hospital just got blown up. And really, whenever it comes down to warfare like this, which is largely, I'd say, genocidal, this is essentially what they start doing. They start testing new chemicals, new airstrikes. We saw this with the Nazis because the Nazis weren't operating with what was acceptable. And the U.S. did the same exact thing whenever they dropped a nuke with Hiroshima, right? They are testing new weapons. So right now we can see new weapons or new surveillance or new psychological ops or AI targeting systems, right? So this is what's happening right now. These people do not care about the children. They don't care about the hospitals. They don't care about anything other than, we hate you and we're going to use everything that we've been working on for a long time to see what's effective, essentially. I feel like that's probably what's happening. I mean, I've never seen any country in my lifetime get away with the atrocity that Israel's getting away with.
No, and it seems like Israeli forces continue their relentless assault on Gaza, targeting civilians with indiscriminate bombings. And I mean, in the past 24 hours, airstrikes have killed plenty of Palestinians. Yeah. So it's just, when will it stop, I guess?
Yeah, and you see this with movies like Iron Man as well. Whenever Iron Man, the first one, which is like the best one, he goes to like the Middle East and he sees Stark Industries and it's a bomb and he's like, holy shit, like I'm selling this weaponry to the Muslims. And that's like, they will test out these weapons. It's in Israel's benefit to test out this weapon on their enemies, the Palestinians. And then what do? It's the military industrial complex. Then they go and sell that to the groups like Hamas, for instance, which Israel also paid money and funded them. So what other proxies, what other cartels is Israel going to sell this to, that they've got to use the innocent Palestinians who have nothing to do with this, right? At first it's Hamas, and Hamas sucks. And you're like, okay, I get that, but, Israel funded Hamas. And then it slowly became, well, just all Palestinians suck. And it became extremely racist, right?
Yep. And now you have the Trump administration deporting students that participate in anti-Israeli protests.
Yeah, and anti-Israeli is just, hey, Palestinians deserve to exist, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, we we can see how this is breeds ground for an economic boom in the Israeli military industrial complex. I don't know how that is beneficial for the U.S. I think that with how westernized the U.S. is, especially, we wouldn't be pro figuring out new types of AI missiles or surveillance or whatever it might be, at the stake of the lives of other people, especially because the Nazis were the bad guys. They were the worst in World War II, right? So then why are we using Nazi tactics to our benefit? I don't understand it.
Yeah. Well, we will continue to monitor this developing story and provide updates as more information becomes available. Our thoughts are with all those affected by this ongoing conflict.